Hey, today I am showing you how to make half square triangles. Yes, there are other videos of this on my site, but today I'm going to show you two different methods in one video, so extra fancy. The methods I'm going to be showing you is how to make them with the quilt in a day ruler, and also how to make them with just your basic square ruler. Yeah, so let's get into that. Okay, just a little bit more before we dive in about the rulers. Okay, so here's the rulers. These are your basic rulers. Most quilters have these. This is a 6.5 inch square ruler, and this is a 12.5 inch square ruler. And I probably use this one a little bit more. Bigger rulers tend to not maneuver really well, but there are occasions when I have to have one of these. Usually it's bigger blocks. Also have some washi tape. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. So that's your basic first method. Your second ruler for your second method is the quilt in a day ruler. I know a lot of people have your favorite rulers, so definitely use your favorite rulers. This one is mine for half square triangles. I love making half square triangles this way. I feel like it's just so much easier. They have this one, which can cut half square triangles from 1 inch to 6.5 inch. I definitely use this one more. And then I just recently got this big one. It cuts half square triangles from 1 inch to 9.5 inches. Yeah, 9.5 inches. So this one's definitely could get more use out of it than the smaller one if you can only buy one. But the smaller ones are always easier to maneuver, so it's up to you. We have both of these available at meanderandmake.com. All right, on with the tutorial. Okay, so we got our quilting math out of the way, and both methods of making half square triangles, no matter which way you use, start out the exact same. You need 2 squares of fabric. All right, I got 2, but that's just extra. You need 2 squares of fabric the same size. And on both methods, on one fabric, you'll turn it over to the back. You'll draw a line on the diagonal, okay? And then you'll put them right sides together, just like that. You'll want to sew a scant 1/4 inch on both sides of this drawn line. So let me go do that, and then I'll show it to you. All right, I'm a little off on this one. My bad. This one's more of a perfect 1/4 inch, and this one's more of a scant. My sewing machine has been acting up, so that's why I'm having a little bit of issues. Anyway, no matter which method you use, you're starting the same way. All right, and then I like to press my seams before I do anything else because, you know, especially when my machine is acting up a little, sometimes the tension can be a little bit off and it matters. So if you're looking to get your half square triangles as perfect as you can, press them first. It's called setting the seams. All right, and then we will line up our ruler right on this line that we drew and then cut it to make 2 half square triangles. All right, so one of these I'm going to use the quilt in the day ruler with, and the other one I'm going to use your basic ruler. So let's start with the basic ruler. So on the basic ruler, our next step from here is to press. So I'm going to take this guy, I usually slip my fingernail in here and get my seam open, and then I'll slowly press it. And very important to not be doing this number right here. You want to press. So I'm going up and down with my iron. Then you'll turn it over, spray it with starch. I'm usually working on like a bunch of these at once, so that might be a little bit too much starch for one. But we starch them and then we press again. And I just press until all the little starch stains are gone. All right, and their next step would be to trim. So what I'm doing with this one is I'm going to trim him to 3.5 inches. If you're working with your 12.5 inch ruler or whether you're working with your 6.5 inch ruler, doesn't matter. But I tend to go with the smaller ruler when I can because it's just easier to maneuver around, and I have to worry about this bopping me in my stomach and stuff like that. So it's just easier to maneuver with these smaller rulers. All right, so I've already taken my washi tape and I've put it on the 3.5 inch line in both directions. So this little square right here measures 3.5 inches. And I've put my washi tape just below or just to the side of each of these lines, because it's not, the only purpose this serves is to help my eyes locate where I need to be a little bit quicker. When you don't use the washi tape, it's fine, you can do that, but it's just, if you're trimming 100 half square triangles, it's just easier to mark it so your eyes can find it quicker. So I've got it marked here and I've got it marked here. All right, so with your line going on this side of your ruler, or this side if you're left-handed, of course, you're gonna put it, there should be like a diagonal line running right through here. It's your 45-degree line. You'll put that right there in your seam. And I don't want to take a lot off on this side, so I'm going to take as little as I can off on this side. I'll hold the ruler down, cut, cut. All right, so this side of my half square triangle is perfectly trimmed. You'll flip this guy around. You'll put your ruler back on it, and this time, since you have a trimmed left and bottom side, you'll line that up with your 3.5 inch line this way and your 3.5 inch line that way. The washi tape should help you locate. And you're gonna line that right up flush with the pieces of your patchwork unit. All right, and now we're gonna trim this side. Boom, boom. All right, and then you have a perfectly trimmed 3.5 inch half square triangle, or whatever size you are making. All right, here's a little bit closer look at the Quilt in a Day rulers. One of the big differences in this ruler from the other way is that we don't press first, we trim first. I like this better because I don't have to rotate anything. But here's a look at the ruler. So you can see it's got the 1/2 inch marks on this side and the whole inch marks on this side, just depending on what you are making. The big one does too. You can get more use out of this one, but like I said, I prefer smaller rulers when I can use them. All right, so back to our method. So we've got our piece that we just cut from the other piece, and then we set our seams. And then from there, we're cutting 3.5 inch half square triangles. We will put this stitch line right there on our actual stitch line. And you're gonna line it up. You'll put your hand, you'll put a little weight behind it, take your rotary cutter, cut this side, cut this side. Then, I usually just eyeball this part. I just wanna cut these little tails off, just like that. And then you'll have a piece that looks like this. The next step would be to open him up. I'm gonna slip my finger right in there to get this seam open. I will press my seam. Spray some starch, press again. And there is another half square triangle. I like that way better. But either way, it's up to you which way you want to use it, but don't you just love half square triangles? Okay, so those are my 2 methods of making half square triangles. I hope you enjoyed this.